Hi, Mom and Dad. I am here to introduce a tribute to you and to be the first one to wish you happy 50th anniversary. We were thinking about how best to celebrate you wonderful folks. And since we're all hunkered down and thankfully healthy during the COVID-19 pandemic, we looked to technology to provide a solution since we can't all get together and give you hugs in person. What follows instead is some responses we got to invitations to share favorite memories and things folks have learned from you guys over the years. So we had quite a response. So sit tight and enjoy. This is going to go on for a little while, but people had things to say, which doesn't surprise me. And I'm going to take the opportunity to kind of go first and share some of my memories of what it was like to grow up the child of Jan and Dan Butterwick. I can't think of a more amazing childhood into adulthood than the one that I've been blessed to spend with you guys. Not only as your daughter, but as your friend. I think back to time spent on that wonderfully chilly yellow linoleum floor in the kitchen on the original house there on Ashwood. My mom was puttering in the kitchen, baking and cooking, and dad was coming in and out from the garden. And I was periodically getting licked by a corgi, and it was pretty idyllic stuff. And then I remember the experience you guys had trying to chip out from under the counter to install the dishwasher, which as an adult, I can appreciate how important it was to be persistent in that task. But what it taught me, as I think back on it, is just how important it is to be able to tackle even really difficult and frustrating situations with your life partner and still come out of it relatively unscathed and still in love and still committed to one another. I think that is the thing I would say more than anything. You gave me an irreplaceable gift, and that is the sense of unconditional love and support. I can't remember a single time you weren't on the sidelines coaching and cheering for me at a soccer game, a time that you didn't ask me about my day, welcome my friends, sit with me through agonizingly difficult, and I'm sure for you, very confusing decisions, some of which turned out better than others. But I think through all of it, you just were constant and you were consistent. And again, as I'm in the place now of parenting, not being parented, I can have ultimate respect and appreciation for that model that you set. And more than that, the fact that you are able to pass on all of these amazing things to Diego now. I can't begin to tell you how full it makes my heart to know that he is growing up surrounded by your love and care, just like I'd had the privilege of doing. So from Phyllis the acclaim that you so generously gave me to drive me back and forth to college, to dropping me off in Scotland and adventuring across that country and all through the Southwest here more recently and out in California many times, and teaching me to appreciate growing things and nature and neighbors and loving on people. I can't say thank you enough. And I am thrilled that you get to enjoy some of the other folks' memories and thoughts that are about to come. I wish you an amazing 50th anniversary. I love you so much.
Happy anniversary! Of course, I can't speak. Okay.
Hi, Dan and Jan. I want to start off by wishing you the happiest of anniversaries. The 50th milestone is just an incredible testament to faithfulness and dedication and all the work that it takes to be in a marriage, and for that amount of time is just spectacular. I couldn't think of two people that kind of better fit each other in terms of temperament and interests. And as I've known you now for 20 years, what I can say is that you're not my parents-in-law anymore. You're my parents, and I have come to just absolutely love and respect you. I hold you up in my thoughts, but also hold you up as mentors to me and to Katie. And being in this room with Diego and just knowing how, in so many ways, we have co-parented with you for these last 5, almost 6 years now, in building this young man as he continues to grow and mature, and how the love that you've given him and the sustaining power of faith that you've instilled in him is the way that you've chosen to have your relationship with others, but also with yourselves. And I think it's that mutual respect that you guys show each other and demonstrate and model to other people, particularly to other married couples, particularly in their early part of their journey together, has really kind of helped shape not just your relationship, but other folks' relationships as well. And I know that you've served as a model for me and Katie in terms of temperance and dedication, but also just this notion that kind of like two trees whose roots are growing into each other and growing deeper. It's been a real pleasure to see that over these last 20 years. You know, you will always have my undying respect and love and appreciation for everything that you've done for our family, for me personally, for the bedrocks that you have been, and also the model that you've been in our lives in terms of what a successful marriage looks like. Not just a long one, but a successful one. And so all my love to you guys on your 50th anniversary. I couldn't be more excited to be celebrating it here with you live in person. I think that you should look at what others have said here and take that to heart, that in an age where people are really looking for attention a lot and self-aggrandizement and just putting themselves out as the end-all and be-all, I think that you guys are a testament to living a life that is in faith, in coordination with what God calls us to be, which is a shining light, and not just putting yourself out there all the time, but rather being a living testament to the hands and the heart and the feet of God out in the community and in your personal relationships, in terms of caring for folks, whether it's hosting people when they're ill, which you guys have done, being faithful in taking care of them and meeting their needs, whether it's taking care of each other, whether it's cooking and baking things for all of us, making carrot cake for me every birthday. All of these things are what sum up a life and what sum up a relationship. And you guys have taken it very deeply, you've taken it seriously, but you've also had so much fun along the way. And I can't be any more proud and lucky, very, very lucky, that you are my parents-in-law, my parents. And I love you guys to pieces, and that'll always be the case. And so on this 50th anniversary, I just wish you the very, very best, because you guys are the very best. God bless. Love you.
Jan and Dan, congratulations on 50 years together. It's a wonderful accomplishment, particularly since you two have always seemed so compatible and so happy together. You like to do things together. I've always admired that, particularly since you like to do almost anything together. Go to the grocery store, take a trip, take exercise classes.
Oh, okay. I think we're still going here. My bad.
And then, I lost my place. I've been practicing this. Another thing that I've always admired that you do and you have done is all the times that you've opened your house and your hearts to help people who are needing a place to stay and going to the medical center and helping people. I think for us, the first time was when Bill was a baby. And then...
Was that the cleft lip and palate?
Yeah, the first.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
No, you don't remember it, but I do vividly. And I'm sure Jan and Dan do too. We have had many memories. I started thinking back over these 50 years, and there are lots of wonderful memories. A lot of them centered around the times that our families have been together for either holidays or for these spring break trips that we've taken together. But one special memory that I thought of was the day that you got married.
Yeah, wedding day, wedding day.
Started on the 50-year trip. Y'all had told us to bring the babies, Margie and Daniel, and it was a really pretty day in May. It was hot, but it was a beautiful day, and of course it's springtime, and there were lots of green trees and grass and flowers. And Margie was very taken with her new clothes and with the chapel. She was impressed with that. But the thing that she really got into was your dress. She loved your dress, Jan. And then I remember being taken with helping you get ready. And there was a time when you were looking into a mirror, and I don't remember who it was taking your picture. And that's a very vivid memory because you looked so beautiful that day. And you were a little nervous and pretty excited.
Did Jan have the long hair at that point?
It wasn't as long as it got later.
Okay.
And gosh, it was just a beautiful day. And the ceremony was sweet, and I think both of you were very excited and rather nervous, but right after the ceremony, you were absolutely aglow with happiness. And that is what I remember. Love you. Bye.
Oh, hey, I was just making an omelet. And much like this video, I didn't want to make it too cheesy. And I want to wish you guys a happy 50th anniversary. Omelet measuring and all kinds of fun stuff in the kitchen. Y'all taught me, we used to watch y'all puttering in the kitchen and really taking your time and doing stuff right, and you taught me to enjoy things like that. Like trying to peel an apple all in one continuous peel and then put it back together again in an apple shape. Anyway, happy 50th. Something else that reminds me of y'all is the garden. Let's head out there. Oh, hey, Cleo.
Hi, Dad. Guess what I was doing?
Tell me.
I was looking at these Jeeves and Wooster. That reminds me of Aunt Jan and Uncle Dan because of all the British comedies and mysteries they have. Isn't it their 50th anniversary?
It is their 50th anniversary.
Wow, good for them. We love them so much.
Yeah, they've been together a long time.
Yes.
Hey, I was headed out to the garden.
Whoa, that reminds me of them too. Let's go.
Oh, hey! Didn't see you there. I was just looking at all of the wonderful plants we've been growing, much like how Aunt Jan and Uncle Dan have grown so many plants, and they take such good care of them, just
Wow.
like they've taken such
Just
good care
like
of us for the last 50 years.
Uncle Dan and Aunt Jan, thank you for all you do for all of us. We wish you many more years of love and happiness, surrounded by friends, family, abundant gardens, and morning tea. Happy anniversary!
Happy 50th anniversary!
We love you! We love
Love you
you!
guys.
Love you so much.
Hi, Jan and Dan. Well, we want to wish you a very, very happy anniversary. It's quite a milestone.
Yeah, 50 years.
That's amazing.
Mom was reminding me about your wedding, and I vaguely remember it. I know I was very small at the time, but I remember how different and special it all felt going to that. And, we just have a lot of really good memories of spending time at your house, of, the corgis that you had.
Yeah, yes. I don't remember your wedding because I was 4 and in Indiana at the time, but I'm sure it was just wonderful. And we did have some good times coming down to Houston to do dog shows and whatnot. And you were always very hospitable. You always let us intrude upon your world for a little while, and we really did appreciate that. It was great spending time with you.
And I do remember, going around your backyard with Uncle Dan, learning all the names of all the different plants you were growing. That was a lot of fun. So, a lot of good memories. We're um, glad to still have you with us and to have you with us for many years to come. Love you.
It's been really great talking to you over the years, and you've been a good example for us as a married couple that can have a good life together. We love you very much, and happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Hi, Aunt Jan, Uncle Dan.
Hi, happy anniversary.
Yes, happy anniversary.
We've been asked to film some memories and impressions and just what we think of when we think of you, and I thought it would be fun to film us in the garden since y'all were an inspiration for us with y'all's gardening, and it was always such a pleasure to get to talk to y'all about gardening and vegetables and the frustrations the frustrations thereof. Some of our favorite memories, I'll go first because I've known you the longest, and but so many memories of weenie roasts and bonfire night and game nights, except maybe for the Scrabble.
I like Scrabble.
And time spent in California together, time spent in Houston together, Thanksgivings during college. It's just all been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
We love you so much. Thank you for being so inspirational and for modeling good behavior for us and just showing us how to be good parents and just being wonderful examples to us in your actions and the way that you guys show such love for each other and the gentle way that you guys teach us just by being so sweet and kind and patient and non-judgmental and just so super wonderful. So I'm so thankful for you guys and feel so blessed to be a part of your the family, and appreciate y'all being so welcoming to me when I first met you guys, and I just still think it's wonderful that Daniel has a sweet Aunt Jan and Uncle Dan. So we love you all.
We love you, and happy anniversary and many more.
Yes, we'll look forward to seeing y'all again, hopefully sometime soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Aunt Jan, Uncle Dan. Happy anniversary. I'm so grateful for all the morning orange tea visits that we had. And I'm so thankful for y'all being here in Houston and making my first year in Houston so much better than it would have been without y'all. Happy anniversary again, and I love y'all so much.
We want to wish Janny and Dan a very, very happy 50th wedding anniversary. They have taught us so much about patience, love, and cooperation.
My cousin Janny is sweetness and love personified. I have always loved her so much and looked up to her. Whenever I found out last June that I had breast cancer, she encouraged me to have a second opinion at MD Anderson and to be treated in Houston. Her advice and her love and her help during this whole traumatic experience made it so much less frightening. It was also so comforting for us to be able to spend time with her and Dan. I think what they taught me was that love matters just about as much as medicine, maybe more, when it comes to getting through a thing like this.
They invited us to spend many days at their home during Leslie's treatment at MD Anderson from June through March. Being up close and personal with them like that taught us what love and devotion really means.
Happy 50th wedding anniversary, Jenny and Dan. We love you.
Hi, Jan. Hi, Dan. We want to wish you a very happy 50th anniversary. We also want to let you know that we love you for way more than Dan's omelets and Jan's apple pies.
So those are two pretty good reasons all by themselves.
Jan, of course, I have known you since Max and Mickey got married back in 1963. You may not remember, but you even put me up in your apartment in Houston way back there in the early days, maybe when I was looking for my first job there after college. But Kirk and I, as a couple, have known you both for many years. Well, almost through your entire married life, through Steinhauser, Urban, Butterwick family get-togethers. We're always so pleased to be a part of these combined family reunions and excursions. Always pity families that don't get along, because Kirk and I always have an absolute blast when we're all together.
And we've also had wonderful visits with you in your beautiful Houston home, not to mention your outstanding garden. We have gotten to know you through many enjoyable conversations on many different subjects, and one in particular upon which we all agree, but which shall remain unnamed here. And we can't let this occasion go without a special nod to Dan for his part in designing our retirement home, which has held up through the years. We still love it and wouldn't change a thing.
So in short, it would be hard to find two more talented, kind, funny, caring, genuinely nice people who were lucky enough to find each other 50 years ago, whom we wish many more joys and blessings through years to come.
Happy anniversary, Dan and Jan. Larry and I are so happy that we are still here to help you celebrate your 50th anniversary. I have known you since before you married because Mickey and I were such good friends in college, and we continue to be good friends now. Also, the memories I have are so many because of your family, because of your parents, your early years when Katie was born, and she was such a little fireball, redhead running around. And then the gardens are always so wonderful. I remember a lot of vitamins at your house. I was always impressed by the vitamins that were so neatly stacked and ready to go. I have always been so impressed by the gardens and all the work you were able to do and continue to do. In the first house that you had on Ashwood, and then on the second house that you had with your wonderful gardens and your greenhouse, hothouse, everything is wonderful and always so pretty. The birds, the flowers, the butterflies, everything is wonderful. But it has been fun knowing you, and I hope that we can get together again and celebrate more as you continue with your years together. And happy anniversary. Bye-bye.
Hey, Jan and Dan. Congratulations on 50 years. Quite an accomplishment. Love having you as part of the family and look forward to many more years of sharing time together on the holidays. And you're just truly one of the nicest couples I have truly ever met. And Jaime thinks the world of you as well as the rest of us. So again, love that you're part of the family, and congrats again.
Congratulations, 50 years. That's awesome.
Bye now.
Hi, my name is Paula Castrucci, and I know Jan and Dan as Diego's grandparents. I'm Diego's teacher at Faith Lutheran Day School. Diego is blessed with the kind of grandparents every child should have. Your eyes both light up every time you see each other, and the time you all get to spend together is precious. Congratulations, you are loved.
Happy 50th anniversary, Jan and Dan Butterwick. It is such a joy to celebrate this day with you. 50 years of marriage to me says a lot more about your maturity and your wisdom than it does of just how people just happen to get along. You've learned a lot in these years, and we are so grateful that we get to celebrate them with you. Some of my favorite memories are just as I've gotten to know you, and you have been so regular in worship and such a part of our community over the last number of years. I'm grateful that you've come and you've shared your lives with us, and I look forward to many more. Happy anniversary.
Hi, Dan and Jan. Happy anniversary. Wow, 50 years. What a momentous occasion. And I'm so glad to celebrate with you, albeit remotely. So, when I thought about what I wanted to share, random thoughts popped into my head. So, I just marked them down. And I made a little cheat sheet so I don't forget any of them. And the first thought that came to mind is really kind of a humorous one. Happened a long time ago. You guys and Jack and I were going somewhere, and we were driving down Buffalo Speedway, and Dan pointed out a house which he told us was the Darth Vader house, and it really does look like Darth Vader. So that was funny, and we all laughed, and here it is many years later. I know it's more than 20 years because Jack's been in heaven now for 20 years, and I still think about that, and I still laugh. So that was kind of funny. And then the next thing I thought of was that little opossum that you, Jan, found in your wash machine also several years ago and brought to me to rehab. And I wasn't rehabbing opossums at that time. I didn't know very much about them. I was doing squirrels and birds. And but I loved that little guy. And I learned how to care for opossums. And I raised him up to time for release. And I developed a great appreciation for the species. And I rehabbed many opossums after that little guy. So thank you for that. And the next thing is really a bit more profound. And it goes back to almost 30 years ago when I first met you, Jan, at BSF. And I was a brand new newbie Christian then. I didn't know anything at all about the New Testament. And I learned so much from you and from the other BSF teachers. But what I learned from you is not only the words that you taught me and the scriptures that you drew my attention to, but the way you lived your life. And you, and this is true of Dan also, I think that the two of you lived your life how I imagine God wants all of us to live our life. And in particular, I'm thinking about your generosity, which is fueled, of course, by your selflessness and your caring and your kindness and your love. So it's the two of you are a great inspiration for everybody. So that's pretty wonderful, I think. So I think that about sums it up. Wait, let me look at my list and be sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, clients, I want to tell you how much I appreciate having you two as clients because you are so efficient that you make my job easy. And Jan, some of the little notes you put in the tax organizer are really funny. And anything funny that makes me smile during tax season is most welcome. So thank you for that also. So I just want to tell you that I love you both. I think that I'm very privileged to have you in my life in whatever capacity. And I hope that God allows you many, many more years on this earth together, happy years and healthy years together, and that He blesses you always. Bye.
Hi, Dana Jan. This is the
Rose Family.
And we just wanted to say a few things. At least for some of us, we've really enjoyed being your neighbors for 12 years now. And me in particular, I know I got a chance to work with you at MD Anderson for a little while. And so I really enjoyed that. We love seeing you guys outside gardening, and we also enjoy the fact that you guys have Jaime and Katie and Diego right around the corner, and we love hearing about all the nature stuff. So we look forward to another 50 years of that and more, right? And the Rose family wanted to say
Happy anniversary! Bye. Bye.
Hi, Jan and Dan. Happy 50th anniversary. Congratulations, and you're halfway to 100 years now.
They're telling us that we're supposed to say something nice about you, or tell a funny story about you. So we're going to, I think about the time that I always give Dan a hard time because every time we see Dan and Jan out walking or in church or anywhere, they're holding hands. And I tell him, I said, Dan, you're killing us. You're killing, and all the guys in the neighborhood feel the same way. You're killing us. You're making us look bad. And every time Diane sees you, she says, "Why can't you be more like Dan?"
Hold my hand.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we can all learn something from Dan about that because he does have a loving heart, and that's one of my favorite memories. And I think of them both. Jan, in my opinion, is the living embodiment of Christ's commandment that we love one another as ourselves. And she is always so loving and caring. Both of them are. And I think we're better people because we know them. And they're our neighbors and our friends. And to us, they're our family. So congratulations on your 50th.
And I was going to say a lot of those same things, so we all feel the same. So I know. Anyhow, but I just want to say you two are just the most loving couple I've ever met. You're always so welcoming. You'll do anything for anybody. I know my dad, when he came to Houston, he always enjoyed talking to you all too, and he'd talk about all your plans, and he enjoyed that. But just you just make me feel so comfortable in everything you do. And the one key point I think too is those genes have been passed on to Katie, obviously, because she's carried forth your all's good genes as well. So love your smiles. You're always so friendly and helpful. And I'm just glad you're our neighbors.
We'll keep on saying nice things about them because it's almost tomato time and they got to give us a lot of tomatoes. So we love them.
Great, yeah.
We love you guys. Congratulations.
Yes. Another 50.
Happy anniversary, Jan and Dan, from Pam Young. I have to tell you that my relationship with the Butterwick family goes back over 70 years and 4 generations of Butterwicks. Daphne and Ward Butterwick and their son John, and my parents Martha and Ronald Finch, and myself Pam, were all in Washington, D.C. during World War II. John and I were the same age, but at that time, less than 2 years old. After the war, everyone came back to Houston, and both families eventually settled in the city of Bel Air. John and I graduated from high school together. Many years later, I was back at Bel Air High School teaching government and economics, and this delightful young lady with red hair showed up in my class, and her enrollment card said her name was Katie Butterwick. And I thought, oh my goodness, could this possibly be? Could it possibly be part of the Butterwick family? So I called Katie after class one day, probably scared her to death, and asked her if her dad's name was Dan and her grandmother's name was Daphne. And she replied yes. And that just began a lovely friendship between the two of us. And she went on to be the president of the Student Congress and Legislative Enterprise that year and did a terrific job. It was a most successful 2-day convention of students from 4 different high schools. Congratulations, Katie, on that accomplishment. Some years later, I ran into Katie again after she had completed her education and was out working on her own, and we met up at a CCSC meeting one evening. And a while later, I talked her into joining me in helping with a new nonprofit I was involved with called the Houston History Alliance. And we both served on that board for a number of years. It was during that time that I finally had an opportunity to meet Jan. And I know, Jan and Dan, that you have each had many wonderful accomplishments in your lives, and that together you have accomplished a great deal. But I have to tell you, your best accomplishment, the crowning jewel of everything you have done, is the wonderful, sensitive, bright, attractive, friendly, hardworking daughter, Katie. You raised her, you taught her, you guided her. She is terrific. And I know that you love her deeply and love her family. I just want you to know that I care very much about all of you. Happy anniversary to you both from Pam Young.
My favorite memory of Jan and Dan is that they always are so loving when they see their neighbors. When Jan gives you a hug, it makes you feel like you're her family member being hugged. Michael's favorite memory of Dan is when Dan loaned Michael a book on composting. He didn't just loan him a book on composting, he loaned him a book on composting. And Michael learned so much about composting from Dan. Happy 50th anniversary, Jan and Dan. Thank you guys for being such wonderful neighbors.
Hey Dan and Jan, this is Terry from Manly Maid. Happy 50th anniversary. Y'all are such a great inspiration.
Hi Jan and Dan, this is Heather Hensey, Katie and Jaime's friend, here to wish you a happy 50th wedding anniversary. We were asked to either share a memory of you or to share something that we've learned from you. And the fact that I have a horrible memory coupled with the fact that I've only met you guys a handful of times means that I really could just come up with one answer for both questions. And that is Katie. She is by far one of my favorite people on the planet. She is an amazing person, amazing friend for almost 20 years for me, amazing wife, an amazing mother. So you guys did something right. I adore her and try to aspire to be more like her. So thank you. Thank you for getting married 50 years ago and bringing Katie into this world and for continuing to be amazing role models and parents to her. I wish you cheers, toast, and hope that you have a wonderful anniversary. Bye.
So Jan and Dan first opened their home to me when I befriended my dear friend Katie B during our first year at Trinity. And I was living a full day's drive from my parents, and so I didn't have a car, and sometimes I would go with Katie on long weekends to visit her wonderful parents in Houston. So some of my very favorite memories of those college days were spending time in the Butterwick home. And I came to affectionately call this place and its inhabitants the Yellow Time Warp, partly because I'd never seen such intentional use of yellow in a home color scheme, and partly because everything about the Butterwick home left me feeling warm and light and embraced in unconditional love. It truly is a golden place and a magical place in my memory from my college days. So from Jan and Dan, I've learned many things, not the least of which a thing or two about hospitality. But I've also learned that no matter where I am, a feeling of home is as close as a hug from someone warm, a hot pot of cinnamon orange tea, or a homemade cookie, or maybe just a walk in the backyard garden. And so these are things that I actually teach my own children now. And I hope that one day when they're looking for a home away from home, that they find themselves in the company of people like Jan and Dan Butterwick, who know a lot about love and how to live in it with other people. And I just am so grateful to know you, and I love you. And Jan and Dan, I wish you on your 50th golden anniversary, the most wonderful anniversary that you can imagine.
50 years of marriage is definitely something worth celebrating. Congratulations and happy anniversary to you both. When I think of Jan and Dan, I think of kindness and generosity, and of course I think of time out in the garden. I can't even count the number of times we've been the recipients of garden goodies over the years, and we have always appreciated them so much. Whenever I come out into my garden, I think of you guys. We are wishing you many more years of happiness together, many more memories. Congratulations, guys.
Happy 50th wedding anniversary, Jan and Dan.
Katie said to share a favorite memory, and I have lots of memories growing up and spending time with both of you. But I think one of my favorites is the fact that every time I came to your house, it always felt like this warm, inviting environment. I knew there would always be something freshly baked, warm tea, amazing vegetables from the vegetable garden, and just good conversation with quality people who clearly adore one another 50 years later. I wish you both all the best on your wedding anniversary, and I send you big hugs from DC.
Hi, Jan and Dan. Happy 50th wedding anniversary. We're so excited for you guys. And I am taping a tribute just for you because you have been a part of my life for at least over 15 years, knowing Katie, and then I had the pleasure of getting to know you both as well. You're the best grandparents I've ever met. Diego is the luckiest grandson ever to have your influence and your activity with him on a daily basis. So keep up the good work, and I'm very, very happy for you two because you're a very special couple. Love you both, and happy 50th anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Dan and Jan. I hope you have a great time celebrating what has been such an amazing, long relationship. I remember meeting you when I first came home from Trinity with Katie, and I don't remember what year it must have been. My best guess is 1999. And I remember that I thought that your house was just so bright and welcoming. And I love the fact that you had no microwave and you always had beautiful flowers and vegetables in your garden. So happy anniversary. Thank you for making a wonderful daughter who in turn is a wonderful mother and wife and friend.
Happy anniversary, Dan and Jan. I know over your 50 years together, you've had so many memories and experiences and accomplishments. And I think that one of the greatest of those is your daughter, Katie, who is so beautiful inside and out. And I'm really so grateful to have her as a part of my life and therefore the two of you. So congratulations, and I wish you many, many more years of love together and with your family.
Happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Butterwick from 30A, Florida, from the Santos family. We love you.
Happy anniversary, Dan and Jan. We are so happy to celebrate with you and to celebrate you. I have some wonderful memories of you guys when I was in high school with Katie and we would watch movies at your house. I remember baking with you, Jan. I remember being in the garden with you, Dan. I remember doing rice steps, and I was never anywhere near as good at it as you guys were at running up and down those steps. Your stamina was amazing. And Dan, I still remember the day that I ran into you on the skywalk at MD Anderson, and we talked about the fact that they were going to be knocking down the building that I was working in at that point, and your comment was, "They're gonna knock that sucker down," and that just made me really happy. Eliza has a memory she'd like to share.
I remember when I was in preschool, pre-K, and Diego would always be there, and I would see him, and you guys would mostly pick him up, and I usually talk to him and talk to you too.
And I know there's so many things I've learned from you guys. I'm not even sure if I could label it down to one. I do remember there was a very fun card game that I learned from y'all, and it was the name of a state, like Michigan Rummy maybe? I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. I learned about Room with a View from you guys. I feel like I learned a lot of life lessons from the comfort of your living room. Anyway, I'm so pleased that you guys are celebrating your 50th wedding anniversary, and just so much love to you both.
Hi, Jan and Dan. Happy 50th anniversary. I can't believe that you have known me for 34 out of those 50 years, and what a wonderful trip it's been. I'm so grateful for both of you in my life. I'm grateful especially that you brought Katie into the world, who is like a sister to me and who is beloved by everyone in my family. Dan, as far as coaches go, you are about the most measured, patient, fair, and kind coach that we ever could have hoped for. You always encouraged us, always had fun with us, and always taught us the better part of ourselves as a team and as individuals. And we knew that when you said something stern, that you really meant it, because you did not misuse your words. And I really, really appreciate that about you. And Jan, of course, will never, ever forget who brought all those orange slices. I can't imagine that we went through any fewer than like 4 dozen per game, and how much time you must have spent just thinking about all of us before every practice, every game that we had, and your big sunbonnet and your long skirts, no matter what the weather. So much of our childhood and our adolescence was shaped by having both of y'all's care and love and kindness to really encourage us. And I know any of us who grew up with you in our lives, we took that into how we parent, how we engage with others. And for me, even how I taught other people's children was really influenced by the way that you all showed love to everybody that you engage with. So happy 50th. I love you. I'm so grateful for your family. So excited that you guys get a 3rd generation of Butterwick Gonzalez's to love on. I can't think of better grandparents. And you're getting to see some of the activity of my house. But anyway, suffice to say that you guys deserve all the love in the world. And happy 50th. All the best. See you soon.
Hi, Aunt Jane and Uncle Dan. Happy anniversary. When Katie asked us to send in some memories of you guys just over the years, the very first thing that popped in my mind was our trip to Shady Lake. I don't think I'll ever forget leaving that campsite in the pouring rain, almost getting flooded down the river, but we did have some beautiful hikes before we had to leave. Another memory that came up right away was staying with you guys after Hurricane Alicia when we didn't have power back at the house. I think I'll forever remember the creamy peach smoothies that you made, Aunt Jan. They were so good. And then also other memories are getting together at our house or your house, playing Pictionary. Daddy and Uncle Dan, you guys used to try to do such detailed engineering type pictures. Katie and I would just scribble something on the paper and get right away what we were drawing. And I don't think you all ever understood how we could do that. Also, from the same kind of get-togethers, the slideshows. Oh, the slideshows. All the flowers and the scenery that back then didn't appreciate too much, but now I can. And in fact, both my guys make fun of me for taking pictures of so many flowers all the time. So anyway, happy anniversary. I love you guys. Thank you both for being such a great example of dedication and love to each other and to family. Love y'all. Bye.
Happy anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary. Does it seem like it's been 50 years since we had that wedding? Probably not, because it's flown by in a heartbeat. Our hair turned gray, we got a little more stiff and don't get around as well, but you two still are a picture of what a lot of people want to achieve. You hold hands, you hug each other, you respect each other, you love each other, and that's a good thing. These are strange times we live in. So here I sit in front of a video camera, making a video to wish you a happy anniversary instead of being there to do it in person. And you know how I feel about cameras. So that tells you that you, both of you, are very special to me. And not just because you're my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, but because of who you are as people and as a couple. As people, you are gentle, honest, happy souls who live life to a very commendable standard. As a couple, you show a lot of young people how to stay in love. And that comes, I'm sure, by the fact that you still find time to hug each other. You still find time to walk and hand in hand through whatever life sends to you. So, happy anniversary. Katie asked for a special memory. I found this to be almost impossible because I know she didn't want us to go through a whole bunch of them. So I would pick one would be the last time we all went to Big Bend on a camping trip. And even that, other than the fact that we had upgraded from tents to a real bed, was full of scattered memories ranging from meals together and walks and just being together. She also asked what you'd learned from Jan and Dan. And that one, we'd have to go back to what I was saying earlier. You gotta respect somebody, you gotta love them, and you gotta hold their hand if you want your love to stay alive. And y'all don't teach that by talking about it. You just do it because that's who you are. So take this day, this time, this video, and reflect back on the good times that you've had and enjoy the ones to come. You know that I'm a hugger. I believe in hugs. They make the world go round. This time we can't even get together and be in the same room. So we have to settle for virtual communication. So here's a virtual hug and a wish for a very happy 50th wedding anniversary. Keep on holding hands.
Happy anniversary, Aunt Jan and Uncle Dan. We love you guys and always enjoyed spending the holidays with you out in the country. I've always thought of y'all as such a lovely couple and such beautiful dancers. May God continue to bless and guide you guys on the rest of your journey together.
Congratulations on 50 years together. We love you.
Hey guys, congratulations. Half a century of marriage. That's a real accomplishment. So many great memories I have being washed out in a camping trip in Arkansas or endless slideshows. I had quiche for the first time at your house. It's delicious, by the way. I just wanted to say that I love you. I'm very, very happy for you, and may God bless you. Take care.
Okay. Happy anniversary, Jan and Dan.
Happy anniversary. When I think of you two, I think of a couple that have loved each other for many years, and a couple that's completely devoted to family, and that love and devotion crops up in all kinds of ways, from Dan's lovely gardening to Jan's beautiful photographs of family over the years, to your lovely home, and we've so enjoyed visiting you. You have the best B&B in the world.
And some of the best food.
And certainly the best food. So we've really loved our time with you over the years.
And one of our favorite memories is our time, of course, with you and Katie and Jaime and Diego on our trip to New Mexico. That was a memory that we both have shared with each other, our memories of that, and we're so happy to spend it with you all, and we look forward to seeing you again as soon as we can. Hopefully when all this craziness is over, we can come and visit, or maybe you'll even get out here sometime too.
Yeah, I wish we could give you a big hug and kiss, but this is the best way nowadays. And thanks, Katie and Jaime, for bringing us into the digital world here.
Yeah, and we hope your next 50 years will be just as great as the past 50 years. So,
we love you.
Bye-bye.